See so much reflection.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you so much for being here and
Thank you.
for taking the time. I wanted to explain to everybody I was wanting to do this, and it's because I want to. Right in my ear. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
So I wanted to explain why I wanted to have this, and that is because I actually had and have many clients that come for a quantum hypnosis session, and they of course always want to know what kind of star seed are they? Where do they come from? And sometimes we're able to find out, and sometimes we're not. Sometimes they're able to see the place. They'll see, oh, I see a crystal city, I see this, I see that, but they're not able to. Hello, Lady Hawk. So they're not able to. Um, while they're in this session and they're seeing their galactic family, it's not like it's easy to deliver. Where is this place? Where is this crystal city that they
Right,
are?
right, right.
And so for everybody, this is Zoe Jackson. And the way I found Zoe was by um, a client came for a session, and she saw a vision of like a beautiful river with the crystal, like a crystal type environment, but she wasn't really able to figure out where this was. So she went to Zoe, and Zoe did a starseed reading for her and told her she was from Mintaka. When she went and researched Mintaka, she saw a picture on an oracle deck, and she explained that that's what she saw in the vision in the quantum hypnosis session.
So cool.
So it was just the coolest. And I am just killing myself because I completely forgot to tell her that you were going to be here today. So she's going to kill me because she told me to remind her. But yeah, so that's why I wanted to have Zoe on here today, because I feel like a lot of people are looking for this information. So the way that I wanted to explain to people is, if it's so important for them to find out where they come from, they can go to you. So to you, they can go find out exactly where they're from.
Right.
And then they can come to me to actually meet them in person,
Yes.
right? To meet them and be able to speak to them through the quantum hypnosis,
Yes.
and things like that. So I thought it was a beautiful like a teamwork here, that my idea is always like, how can I help the people that watch? How can I help the people that come to see me?
Right. Yes.
So um so so Zoe, tell everybody here, like, how did you get started on this, while I go find the Etsy, because I wanted to show
Okay.
everybody the
Yeah, of
Etsy.
course. So I think like everybody who gets guided into this kind of work, it's all your guides pushing you to do it. It was never something that was on my radar. I was always kind of an alternative person, always, but I never really, I honestly had a lot of judgment about people who talked about aliens or UFOs or any kind of encounter. I would definitely judge them and be like, that's like a tinfoil hat person, Until it happened to me. I had a dream where I was on a Pleiadian ship. I had never heard of the Pleiadians before. I never heard of the word, but I woke up with the word Pleiadian like blaring in my mind. So I started Googling, like everybody started looking at YouTube, and like my soul was just hungry for it. I think I went down a 6-month rabbit hole of activations and light language and codes and different starseed races until I just like stopped. I couldn't take it anymore. I was like, I can't look at another light language activation. And then I was not even really thinking about it for a while. And then I was just heavily guided to create a listing on Etsy to activate the DNA of starseeds, to awaken starseeds. And I don't, if you ask me now, like when I wrote that or what I wrote, I don't even remember. It was totally guidance. It was just me being guided to do it. And really, the starseeds that find me are brought there by their guides. And
Mm-hmm.
I think, well, I know that's why we have such profound results, because it's not really me doing anything. I'm just literally being a channel for helping everybody wake up who's ready to wake up. That's it. That's it. It's pretty simple. It's just me listening and following orders.
So this is Zoe's site on Etsy right here. You can see it here. And what also took me by surprise was Zoe's pricing. Here's the Starseed activation, reading and activation. Guys, it's $11.11. I mean, when I saw that, Zoe, and then, later on at the bottom, it says like, this is my gift to you. Don't be scared about the prices.
Yes.
This is because this magic should be available to everybody. It is your sovereign birthright. So that's really when I felt like, I really need to talk to her. I really need to figure out, who this is, especially because you were right on the money with the reading that you did for my client.
Right.
So
yeah, that a lot. I've noticed that it seems like when people do one starseed reading, they do a bunch. And I get that a lot, where people is like, well, I've been to this person and that person, everything you say resonates with them. So I think that people are always looking for confirmation, and I love to be available to do that,
yeah, absolutely. So it's just so beautiful. And so all this was guided, well, you were guided to do all of this then. Did you have any other conversations with the Pleiadians that were trying to activate you after that dream with the ship? So tell me about that.
Oh yeah, so it's been like a constant conversation since then. It's been like, well, it's been the knowledge seeking. It's been the hunting of what is this and who is this, and this is, there's so much, there's just so much evidence pointing to that this is not all in my head. Like, this is not my imagination. And from then it's just really integrated to me realizing that they've always been there. Like, they've always kind of been guiding me. And then I just kind of been figuring out that, like, compartmentalizing, knowing, okay, this is them. This isn't like my intuition, or this is an inspiration. I always thought that I was getting these amazing inspirations when I was washing dishes and stuff, and things like that. But it's been made clear to me that water is kind of a lubricant for these kind of downloads to work with me. Like, if I'm in the shower, if I'm working with water, around water, I'm always getting a constant stream of like a lot of downloads. And I think they've just been making it clear that they've been guiding me. They showed me that I was a Pleiadian. They showed me that this is part of my mission. And the way that everything has just taken off to the races kind of shows me that that's real. It's been from 0 to 60. I just started the shop in March.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and if you look at the amount of people, like, it's amazing how many people like get really emotional about the ability to feel a connection with where they're from, and remembering their truth. And like, it's so cool. It's so cool that I didn't even know about this a year ago.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Really amazing to me. It's just and the thing is that quite often, people come with the questions, where am I from? Where am I from? Where am I from? And many times the answer is, you're from everywhere.
Yes.
You are from everywhere.
Absolutely.
So, what happens with those people that
Oh yeah.
Like, how do you get your information when you, let's say,
Right.
I purchased a Starseed Origin reading? How do you get the information for these people?
Okay, yeah. So I asked for a clear picture of your eyes and your palms. Um, it's way easier for me to do it with both, but I can use one. Some people are not comfortable with taking photos, and I get that. But I just look. I kind of go into a meditative state, and it's like an eye gazing technique. The longer that I look into people's eyes, it's kind of like their soul star like opens up, and it's like a stream. It'll go to a stream, and people always want to know their origin, so I just kind of let it flow, and usually their guides will present themselves to me and show me who they are, and then they will I ask for a DNA activation for this specific person, and they will provide it, and I record it, and I'll email you the MP3 so you can listen to it and receive the activation to yourself. So it's really connecting and awakening this dormancy within them. But it is. Let's see. I do get a lot of the people who are like, well, I feel like I'm Andromedan, or I connect with this. And you told me that I'm from here. And I don't understand why this person would show up for me if I'm a Pleiadian. And I try to explain to people, like, our soul, if you are being guided to this kind of work, if you can embrace the concept of a star seed, you're a very high incarnation, right? You're not a new kid on the block. So you've been several things. You've been a lot of things, actually, before you chose this human work, which is really just missionary work at this point, to raise the vibration of this planet and help them ascend to where your origin race, to
Mm-hmm.
the level that your origin race is at. And I think a lot of people, we still hold on to earthly concepts, right? We still hold on to, I'm this, I'm that. I want to be from here. I'm Italian, so I eat this, or I'm Irish, so I wear that. And it feels good even with the zodiac, it feels good to read about things you resonate with. When I read about things, Gemini things, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That's why I do this, or that's why I can't understand math, or or like weird stuff like that. But I think it feels good to have a home, especially as a star seed, because most star seeds always feel so out of place here. They never feel like they connected with humanity. They never felt like they were part of their family. So when you do find
Absolutely.
and remember that origin, they want to hold on to it. Really want, like, yes, this is my home. This makes sense. And I want to embrace everything that is my truth. And so I get that. But at the same time, sometimes you gotta go. I think a lot of these advanced cultures, they follow completely the law of one, where there's not really any separation, and these kind of things don't really matter, but they love to awaken their star seeds. They love to reconnect with their family. So this is like kind of their foot in the door to do that. But it's not, try not to get too hung up on the details, don't try not.
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Right.
Because, like I said, in half of the sessions that I have, it's like, well, you really are. You have been in all these different
You've been
places.
so much.
Yeah, yeah. You're not just from a specific place,
Right. Right. For
So,
sure.
but it was just such a beautiful story to be able to connect somebody who was in a session, because often, like I said, people come to this session, they see their galactic family, they hold them in their arms, they hug, they whatever, they you know all that stuff, but then it's like, okay, so where was that, what
Right.
planet, what race, what,
Right. Right. Right.
so those answers, those main answers are not necessarily coming through the session.
Right. And you
So
can give them what I can't, that what you do is so amazing. That's like the meat and potatoes of
I
it.
know, right?
That's
Right.
like
But
what.
believe it or not, I'm like, dang it, I couldn't get them the name or the
Right.
race or whatever. So that's why I feel like um in this case, I can say, okay, go to Zoe. Zoe
Right.
can help you with this information,
Yes, and I would love to refer people to you who are looking for a more solid contact. I would love to be able to offer to tell them about what you do, because that's really what, when you're here and you find out you never really get along with anybody here, nobody gets you, and then you find out you're not even from here, and you're like, yes, right, and
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
like, I can tell you where you're from. I can tell you. I can record a message channeling your guy. I can tell your family. But with seeing them, that's really up to you. Some people can reach that state through the activation. Some people can listen to the activation. They see their family or they feel them. But the way that you can just really present them to each other is just like, that's
Yeah, and they can talk to each other. They literally, in many of the sessions, I don't even have to reach the higher self for question. I just ask their family, and they're the ones answering the question.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So cool. That is so cool.
Yeah.
And
So
fun.
yeah, absolutely. It is. It is. But, finding true Pleiadians like yourself, it's just so heartwarming, because I know when you and I connected, we were like we've known each other,
Oh, yeah.
for, and yeah, I even have I'm a Pleiadian Starseed shirt.
I need some
Can you see
merch.
that?
Yes, I love that. I love that. And a lot of the messages that have been coming through, because as I'm recording people's sessions, I'll take notes of any messages that I'm getting directly, and I put it in the email, a report with them. And a lot of them, some of the messages have been shifting. So now a lot of the messages that are coming through are directed to embracing your starseed identity and kind of coming out of the cosmic closet of like telling the world who you are. And it's going to feel really weird at first,
Yeah. Yeah.
really awkward to stand in your truth and tell a bunch of people who might not be ready to accept the fact that there are other things out there besides humans that have sentient consciousness. And and so if you're telling your neighbor, like, I'm an Andromedan starseed.
Or you can wear this shirt, you can wear the shirt that says, and then people are like, huh?
Right. And be like, and I'm just here to help. You're going to get some weird looks, but it seems like a lot of it's what we're ready for. It's the next calling. It's what like a lot of cultures are telling their starseeds to do, to start like embracing the awkwardness of letting people know that who you are and standing in it. And the more that you do that, the more that you're going to awaken other people, even if at first they don't really take to it. A lot of times people stumble upon my shop. Well, they're always guided there,
right?
Always. But they'll say like, I just happened upon this and I love everything, and I listen to it and I don't really get it. Like, what is it? Because light language is, if you don't know what it is, it's going to sound weird. It's going to sound really weird. And sometimes I'll get a little bit of like, well, what the heck is that? I thought it's not what they thought. But usually a day or two after, I'll get a follow-up email like, I feel so many shifts and it's working and I want to buy everything else that you have. And it's really awesome to see. Like, at first it can be totally weird, right? It can be really strange to show this part of life to people, but usually once you just stand in it and you're honest about who you are and what you can do, they'll embrace it. They will definitely come around.
Yeah. That's beautiful. So how many stars, like what kind of star seeds do you see, like percentage wise?
Oh, wow. So yeah, we peas, we outnumber everybody. There's a lot of the Pleiadians. So we get a lot of them. They come in waves. I notice. I feel like their guides send them to me as groups. Like I'll get a lot of blue avians one day, or I'll get a lot of Blu-ray starseeds one day, or a lot of Andromedans one day. Sometimes it's like a mix. There are some times when I get somebody who's not a starseed, and that's usually, and see, if you're drawn to it, you are. If you can read the word starseed and something pulls you enough to press add to cart, that means that you are. But I have been because people are having profound reactions, they suggest it to their friends and their husbands and their brothers, and they're like, get this reading, get this reading. And sometimes when it's not on their, I'm just like, oh no, I'm not getting anything. You've had a lot of earthly incarnations, you have a lot of ancestor guides, a lot of people who, there are 100% humans, there are
Yes.
people who are human beings, and they're amazing, but I don't get the same when I do the eye gazing technique and I do meditate with their energy, I don't get the same kind of guide, cosmic forces stepping forward to claim them. I do have gotten some people who've had like Lemurian incarnations and Atlantean incarnations, but they're usually also like Lyran. I feel like everybody's a Lyran.
Well, ultimately, they're the ones who colonized all the other places in this
right. That's what I'm getting.
galaxy.
That's what I'm, and
universe.
I'm really learning as I'm going. I feel like you are like a font of information about this kind of stuff, because I'm really just picking up as I go, because I'm like, everybody has Lyran energy in them. Like it makes sense if they're, they were the first ones here. But so it's a healthy mix. It's definitely mostly Pleiadians. I've gotten some straight down the middle hybrids lately. So the past 3 weeks, it's been a Syrian Lyran hybrid that they call themselves Elohoi. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. They're like, I think the word they use is Anuhazi or something. I don't know if that sounds familiar to you, but they are a just straight down the middle genetically hybrid of a Syrian being and a Lyran being. So it's sometimes when I do get that energy, it will be like a parent from one place and a parent from another place, or just like their presence showing up for them. And so it's hard for me to be like, you're from this or that, because both energies are showing up for you. You know what I mean? So that's been new. That has been really new. But because usually it's one thing, especially the 12th dimensional people like the avians. I love working with the avians. They're so cool. And Andromedans are so cool. They're also very high dimensional. So their energy is so powerful. And it's all love. It's like pure, unconditional. No, it's just it makes me realize that I have mental barriers. I feel like I love everything. And then when I'm like channeling a 12th dimensional being, I'm like, oh wait, I have some stuff to work on too.
We all do. Obviously, that's why we're here.
Right.
Yeah. So what is like the weirdest, like, that you've come across that you're like, oh, before we go to that, have you heard of the Zene?
No.
The Zene.
No, I haven't.
They're from Andromeda, and they are blue. Do you see them?
I do see them.
Okay, they're blue skinned, bald. Yeah.
I have seen a lot of blue skinned beings. I've seen I think the weirdest, I guess the most different from what I'm used to, has been an Andromedan beings, because their skin is completely see-through. It's like when they show up for me, it's like you can see right into them. So that was a little startling at first.
I can't imagine the first time you saw them. You're like, okay, what the hell is this?
Right. I'm trying to be, I'm trying to be as PC as possible. Just like, hey, what's up? That's cool. But yeah, the avian beings they're so interesting looking, because sometimes they look completely human and they're winged. They have large wings, and sometimes they have the avian features in their face, which is very different. And Lyran beings have a lot of feline features. Sometimes they look very much like lions. Sometimes they look like domestic cats, and sometimes they look like lion-headed beings with wings. It's like they're like us, where there's a huge variety of everybody. You know, everybody's kind of different. But yeah, I would definitely say the higher you go dimensionally, the more different it gets, the weirder it gets. But I'm starting to get into cultures like the Zene, like you mentioned, and I love learning more. I love learning about them. That's why I feel like I'm always like trying to, the last time we had a conversation, I was like trying to pick your brain secretly about the you were telling me about a reptilian thing that was happening.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll show you because um, there is a reason why I know so much, and it's because I did a session for Elena Dannon.
Okay.
And Elena, her and I started a webcast together. We did it for about a year. And during that time, she received in the mail the KGB book of alien races, and it was given to her in her mailbox with no return address, almost like stealth. And she texted me freaked out, and I'm like, we were both like, oh my God, is this a message? Should we stop, or what are we doing, or whatever? So then I said to her, you should, because she, in the session with me, she connected with her protectors. And once she connected with them, she could talk to them like you and I are talking.
Right.
Through the implant. So then I said, oh my God, you should talk to, so his name is Thorhan, you should talk to him, ask him about the races to see if this book is true or if it's fake.
Right.
So anyway, she did. And long story short, she finally ended up writing this book. And the amazing thing is that she can draw. So in it, she'll give you like the name of where they're from and, what they look like.
Wow. I have to get that. That's incredible.
Yeah. So it's been amazing because now I can have a session and I can take this book and show it to them to say, okay, is this what you're talking about?
Did she ever find out who sent her the mystery book?
No, we never found out what that was or where it came from. But
that's so cool. I love stuff like
so
that.
have you ever seen anything like insectoid people that
I have? I don't know their names. I have seen so my Pleiadian guides have been showing me more lately when I am meditating. I think that's what we were talking about when you were telling me about this a soul cycle that people can get stuck in, that's like a reptilian thing.
The reptilian matrix. Yes.
Right. And it's so cool that all this stuff is always connected, but it was so cool that you said that to me because I had just been meditating and I was shown these ships that I was explaining to you that was just like rows and rows of cells of souls that are stuck. And it made complete sense that what you were saying to me about the matrix. I was like, okay, that must be what I saw. But yeah, when I have been getting more and more glimpses of stuff, I think the more in tune I get with my gifts, the more I'll be able to bring back with me and my memory. And maybe I should practice drawing what I see.
Can you draw?
I can draw a little bit. I can't I can't do it that well, but I can do like a baby sketch of what I see. But yeah, I have seen all sorts of things. I've seen beings that do have insect looking like exoskeletons.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Have you seen, I wonder if you've seen, this is a sketch that a woman from Australia made about this new guide that was assigned to me. Okay. So that she's working with my throat chakra and my third eye chakra from when I do the sessions, so that they're fifth dimensional. My voice becomes fifth dimensional. Oh, wow. So have you seen anything like this?
That looks very familiar. I haven't seen like the clothing. A lot of times when I see them, they don't have anything on, but maybe that is like that looks very high ranking. you know, but the face and the
Let's
skin
see if
color,
that's better.
right? Exactly. I have seen that.
Okay.
Absolutely. So where is a being like that from?
I don't know. That's what I was wondering if you knew,
Okay.
because she sent it to me, but she didn't tell me where she's from. So I'm thinking it's either a blue from Sirius or from.
Right.
Um,
Oh yeah, the Syrian beings, they're like the mer people are so interesting looking. They're
yeah,
not like the mermaids that
Styrian.
we're used to seeing. They're not like that at all. They're more like it makes sense. It makes sense that that would be a being that lives underwater. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I don't know. Like, to be honest, I don't know if it's an Arcturian or
okay.
if it's a Syrian or what. So I'm trying to find out what she
But
is.
this
All
is
I know is she's my guide. It's one of my
that's
guides
okay.
now.
That's so cool that you said that she was working with your throat chakra to make it fifth
My third
dimensional
eye.
and your
Yeah.
third eye, right?
Yeah.
I have a practice. I have a lot of spiritual practices that I do every day, but I do a lot of mantra chanting. And in the middle of the day, I do a specific mantra that I've been chanting. And for the past few months, my voice will change while I'm doing it. Like halfway through it, it kind of sounds like as if it was like a radio frequency. It sounds metallic. It'll get like this metallic ring to it. Like it's I can't explain it. I tried to record it and it didn't really come through on the recording, but it really when I settle in the energy and really listen to it, it feels like a being is with me, you know, like it's chanting with me and through me, and it's like this very, I can't explain it. It's like a metallic ring that will, it's not normal. Like if you heard me, you would be like, is she doing that on purpose? Like it's it's like kind of like if you were tuning a radio and it was going like in and out. That's what it feels like. And I'm trying to like let myself not be so curious about the noise so I can maybe settle in my mind to see what it is. But I have to get there because whenever it happens, I'm like, oh, cool, it's happening again, you know, and I get all excited, and then I don't, I don't focus, and I lose focus. But that's so cool that you said that about the throat chakra because maybe that's what's going on with my voice. That would be.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they're really working with us right now to move us to the next level. And it's interesting to see how the messages are delivered,
Yes,
to the people.
it's also
But
unique.
yeah, it is. And it's just amazing to me that you've only been doing this for 6 months or, like I'm just like, there's so much of you that you're going to learn and that you're going to,
Oh yeah.
so it's just amazing. So tell us what stories do you have that you were like that you remember?
Stories
Any
that I
specific
remember.
stories? Yeah.
They're also weird. They're also they're also very interesting and strange, but strange good in a good way. So I guess some of the most memorable ones would be definitely the let's see, the way that the 12th dimensional beings present themselves, the way that they come through is always very like a spectacle almost, you know. It's always very like regalia. It's very like it's very like we're here to claim our star seed, you know. And that's always that always makes me laugh. I love them. I love them, love them, love them so much. But
And who was this again?
this is like the avian
The
beings, and
avians.
yeah,
Okay,
the
okay, okay.
avians and the Lyrans are very much like that. I think the coolest connections that I'm starting to see is they're showing me a lot of glimpses of what happened in Egypt and their interaction with Egyptians and their interaction with Sumerians and stuff like that. And that has been so amazing to see. And it just sparks my curiosity about how did we forget, you know, because they gave human culture so much. You know, they all this stuff that we're really remembering now, we already knew, you know, and I think, you know, because I'm new to this, they're slowly opening me to more and more. But it makes me so curious. Is like if you in the past were showing us laser technologies, anti gravity technologies, and interdimensional traveling technology, like how did we forget? How did we get back to, you know, not knowing anything? So I know that there's some energies out there that don't have our highest intentions at heart.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
So
those we're trying to get,
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
those are the ones we're trying to get rid of.
Right. And I've had more and more. I know, like I told you, that my Google account got suspended just out of nowhere. And I told you I switched Google accounts, and you were like, "Well, it's gonna get weirder now once we talk." And that stuff is starting to happen. Like I never really gave a lot of energy to anything that is nefarious, but it's like it's so apparent now that it's like something tampering with people.
Mhm.
Like so I was having, I think I sent out one day, I was just like rolling. I sent out like 20 activations that day. And I woke up the next day and my Google account was suspended for unusual usage. And they just stopped it. And I was like, one of my friends who also is a medium was like, you can't write the word starseed. She's like, you're writing it in every email heading and blah blah blah, and like in activations. And she's so I've been changing to just SS, and I hope that helps. I don't know.
Well, you can change to protonmail.com. That's a more secure
Okay.
uh, platform because Gmail is from the deep state.
Yeah.
Gmail is the bad guys, so they
Yeah.
read everything that you
See,
put there.
this is stuff that I'm learning. I didn't
Yeah.
know that. And it was so frustrating because everything through my shop and everything was going through that email account. So I switched it. And it's been all right. I hope it doesn't happen again. And then so I do live Zoom sessions with people who can talk to their guides through me, or I can just do an activation with them via Zoom and stuff like that. And we were talking, I was talking with one of my clients who has felt a lot of this negative energy and interference with her life. And as she was talking about it, it just turned her off. Her Zoom just went off, like as
Yep.
and it blew my mind. It like I was like, "Are you serious? Like this stuff is really happening?" I don't know. I feel like I'm still new to this, so it still kind of surprises me when, like, my account will just get suspended for no reason, or you know, as somebody is literally talking about a negative influence interfering with her life, it turns her Zoom off. I was just like, "This is crazy." I can't believe that. I I try to like talk out loud. I say like a lot of prayers of protection around my computer and everything like that. And I'll talk out loud to them and I'm like, look, if people are ready to wake up and they are coming to me, leave them alone. You know, leave those people alone. I got them. But if I'm not going to force anybody to wake up who's not ready. I'm not gonna, go stand on a soapbox and shake my fists and say, wake everybody up. But this whole weird matrix I'm learning. I'm learning.
Yeah, no, I am glad you are, and I know that our connection was not happenstance because as soon as I heard about you, I was like, I have to talk to her. I
Yeah.
have to talk. Like it was really,
Right,
you
because I'm
know,
probably doing something wrong that your guys are like, can you please
no,
before she gets shut down? Before she messes up
yeah, no,
the operation.
no. And I think I'm having issues with my Wi-Fi. I don't know
Okay,
why
of
it keeps
course.
showing up there.
Of
Maybe that's
course.
why you were. It was looking like I was frozen there for a minute.
A little bit.
But yeah, so you know the star seeds, when they come to you, have you ever do they continue to be activated after you connect them?
Right. Yeah, so a lot
Or
of
they go looking for more after.
Right. Yeah. So that's what I've been asking my guides for a little bit of help with, because a lot of them will it have these profound like a spiritual expansion. Like they're
Mm-hmm.
once their DNA is activated, it's like they see the world with new eyes. Their consciousness is kind of opening to what's always been there. And so a lot of them they're like, okay, so now what? You know what I mean? They have that
Yeah.
feeling of like, okay, so now I know all this, I can feel all this, I know that I wasn't making it all up, so now what do I do? You know, and I think as a star seed, you come here with a mission, and that comes through your subconscious of like, you're here to help, you're here to help, you're here to help, right? And they feel they have this burning in their heart that like, I need to be doing something, right? I need to be doing something more. And when I tap into my guides about it, when I ask them, they just show me that the energetic presence of starseeds is the work. Like your presence here is bringing the frequencies that are elevating this world. That literally, you could just sit down and you'd be doing it.
Do
You
nothing.
know?
Right.
Right. Once you're activated, that power is like times a million. And
Ah.
if you can go into like a meditative state, then that it amplifies it even more. I know that there's a lot of work that people do where they'll just like go into a crowded area and try to just like zone out and let their aura fill the area and try to raise the energy and raise the vibration of the whole collective. Some of the people that I work with, their guides will send them to very low frequency areas like poor neighborhoods, and they'll just sit in their car and meditate for like 10 minutes and imagine their whole aura expands and envelops the whole neighborhood, right? And like this is the kind of work that they're being sent to do. So like the stuff that I think starseeds are here to do is the stuff that doesn't get a lot of applause. You know, you don't get a lot of, you're not going to get like, oh my God, you're amazing, thank you so much for your help. It's all very like undercover, covert, you know, like little subtle changes that you're doing. You're jumping timelines just by, you know, incarnating into the family that you chose. That's why there's so much pain associated with the childhood of so many starseeds.
Oh my God. So you're seeing that too?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
They all come from abuse. They all come from these very low, especially
I
old.
can't say all. I
No,
can't
no,
say
no, not at
all.
all.
Yeah, yeah,
Especially
yeah. But I'm gonna say a high percentage.
right, right. I'm 37. So like especially the ones that are my age and a little bit older, they all have like these terrible stories, you know, like of just trauma and crazy, like I should have been dead stories, right? And
Yes.
when they start to remember that they chose these missions, right? It's like, yeah, if you didn't know that you chose this, it would suck. It would be like, I hate this, my life sucks. But when they start to remember that they picked these situations on purpose, it's so empowering, because the only reason you would remember, the only reason you would choose these situations, because you're really like so badass, right? You knew you could handle it. Like you would be like, I'm going to go to that family that's stuck in that generational cycle of karmic bullshit, and I'm going to break it. I'm going to be the one that breaks it. And they choose this shit on purpose. Use my language. They choose it on purpose because they know how powerful they are, and they can. But when you incarnate here and you don't remember where you're from and you don't remember your mission, it just feels like everything's happening to you, right? Instead of like, oh yeah, this is what I came here to do. It can be hard. But what I am noticing is that the younger star seeds that are here are coming from star seeds. Like it seems like now star seeds are giving birth to star seeds.
Yes.
Yeah.
And more upgraded star
Yes.
seeds. They
Yes.
are way more upgraded.
Absolutely. They're so integrated. A lot of
Mhm.
these children they know their mission. They know where they're from. They remember their last life. They don't need any prompting to do it at all. I've
Yeah.
had some women who've asked me, I did a session with a baby who was in utero. And like I tuned into his energy, and he very grounded in who he was. He knew he was from Andromeda. He knew what he came here to do. And like she was like, I just feel different carrying this baby. She had 5
Wow.
children, and that child, she was like, this is
Felt
weird.
different.
Like weird stuff is going on with this around around this pregnancy. So she wanted to see if I could tune into him, and he was definitely a very powerful starseed. And the kids are like great, they're crazy. The stuff that they can do, they're talking at like these amazing ages.
Yeah.
6-month-old babies saying hi mama, and we're just very I don't know, I'm just so excited to see what this next generation turns into, because
Yeah.
it's like I feel like they're all like ascended masters. We're just getting like a slew. The older starseeds kind of paved the way and got all the junk out of the way, and now
Yeah.
the very powerful ones are coming to. I don't know what they have in store, but I know it's good. I know it's good.
Yeah, yeah, it is good. And the one thing that has come through, at least for me, is to help the mothers um, know how to deal with this child, because you're raising this child like you cannot raise the child like you were raised.
Oh no, no, no.
So, it takes a whole nother level
Great.
of um, of parenting. So, I've been also working on trying to get more people to come to talk about that, to talk about the children of the new earth. Have you noticed if the mothers that come to you about their children sound like they're people that know how to manage this situation?
Hmm. I've seen, because what I have seen is when their child is different enough for them to ask me about them, they are usually a very high vibrational person themselves, and they're usually very in tune with this, and they're like, I think there's something up with this one, like there's something very different about, he knows stuff that he shouldn't know, and like he I think that they know, and their guy, well, my guys will always tell them, standard education is not going to work for this child.
Mm-mm, mm-mm,
Throwing this
no.
kid in public school is just it's going to be a mess.
Dim their light, I'm
Right.
sure.
Pretty much. It's going to be a mess. I'm like, trust that nature is his teacher. Trust that he is getting downloads of exactly what he's supposed to be doing. All you really need to do is energetically support him, and he's going to be fine. Like, don't get so. I was getting a lot of guidance to say, like, if you do put them in school because that's the thing to do, let it be like a social thing, don't get too hung up on behavior or grades and stuff like that. Let the education of this kid come from his guides or her guides. Let it come from, take them outside as much as you can. Nature does amazing things for star seeds. and
Yes.
um and just, yeah, I think a lot of the moms are kind of, they're in tune enough to know that their child is special, but they don't really know what to do, right? They're like, kind of like, so what do I do? Which is, you just kind of let them lead the way. They're going to tell you.
Yes, yes, yes. There's a video I did with a channeler. She channeled the ninth dimensional Pleiadian collective, and the whole video is about raising these children of the new earth.
Wow.
And in it, they say, you're not here to teach them; they're here to teach you.
Exactly. So just
So
let them go. Let them
yeah.
see. I am so excited to see these kids. I have a feeling my son is a Pleiadian. I think he might be the one who activated me, because all this stuff happened after he was born. I
Oh,
think that all of this stuff happened after he was born, and his how like the Pleiadians have very traditionally Nordic features. So
yeah.
his dad and I both are African American. We both have brown hair, brown eyes, and my son is like my complexion, but he has bright blue eyes and blonde hair, and it's just like, where did that come from? I'm like, I don't know. People are like, well, African Americans in this country, it could be from something in his past. And I'm like, this doesn't seem like anything my family has in them. This is from.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. He's a hybrid. He
Right.
is a human hybrid.
I think so.
For
I think you're
sure.
right. And
For
his
sure.
energy, I think he is the one that probably awakened me enough, ever since he's come to this world, things have gone upside down in a great way, in a wonderful way.
So, Zoe, have you heard anything or seen anything like I myself, I am a Pleiadian who has a body in a pod. So my body is in a like a gel pod thing.
Yes.
And so then I incarnated here to come guide people,
Yes.
specifically the star seeds more than anything.
Mhm.
Um, have you ever like when you've done like these journeys for these people? Have you seen that?
I have seen that, especially with Pleiadians. I've seen that so much with Pleiadians because I think um, who you are in the Pleiades, certain masters have their ability. They can incarnate at will. They can really, in you know how you would just leave your body at rest and you can just send your soul's transmission wherever you want it to go. That's your ability. That was your, because that's like it's like a skill that not all Pleiadians can do. Some will some will, it's really noble, but they will like willingly give their life to come here. They'll just stop their story, their narrative there. And then there's some Pleiadians like you that I've seen that can just do it at will, and they can do it leaving their bodies in this like fixture that will stop the aging process, that would stop any entropy.
Mm-hmm.
um but there are also like this walk-in situation that I'm learning about, that
Yes.
I
Yes.
I'm just figuring this out. I
Yeah.
haven't really been shown much information about that, but there are Pleiadian beings that can do that with their consciousness, that can just send it to a vessel that might be in a coma or have.
Yes, I had that. Oh my gosh, I had that in a session the other day. And
Really?
I don't, yes, I did.
I'm just
That,
learning about this. It's so cool.
yeah, yeah. It was a soldier that she came in as a soldier to take care of the children that had seen her die being hung. And she knew the children were traumatized. So then she came back and took over the body of a soldier who was dying.
Right.
And then she took that and, oh yeah, yeah.
Right. Oh
Yeah,
my
I've had
God.
that. I've had that.
Yeah, so I think it's like it's a very hard skill to attain, to be able to do that with your consciousness. And I know some people, when you start talking about walk-ins, they get a little, it's scary, right? It's scary to think that your consciousness can just be taken over. But I think that they would never, I won't speak for everything. I won't speak for everybody, but I know free will is just so it's so honored in advanced cultures. It's like the only thing that they really don't touch, and that's
Mhm.
why that's why they're always so gentle with their guidance and with approaching their star seeds. A lot of star seeds that talk to me are so frustrated because they're like, why can't I want to talk to them. I want them to apparate in my kitchen. I want to see them. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I want to just hear clear messages. I want to have a dialogue. But what I have been shown is that in the past, interaction with humanity has caused catastrophes when they have direct interaction, and they're very heavily monitored about what they can do and how they can influence us. And how, if you are a channel, if you are a
Mhm.
very high vibrational being who's shown through your higher self, because they'll approach your higher self first before they approach you, if they've shown through your higher self that you can handle interacting with them without freaking out, without losing your mind or deifying them or wanting to kill them and run, then they will work through you, if that's something that you want, right? But even with their own star seeds, because you are in a human vessel and you're in this human culture, they'll be more subtle about talking with you. It'll be gentle guidance, like intuitive nudges and from the peripheries, you know, kind of showing you where to go, where to look. You'll feel things through their frequency of resonance of what would resonate with you. That's why when starseeds do find out about starseeds, it's like, yeah, like they're everything in them wants to learn more. It's through that energetic frequency. And I think we are eventually going to get to a place where we can directly interact. I hope so, because that would be the best. That that would be just the best without um, humans, when they have met advanced races in the past, they'll think they're gods, and sometimes anytime you see a technology that is way beyond your culture's technology, it's magic. It looks like magic, right?
Yeah.
And we have we have that feels good. Our advanced beings they're more advanced than us, but they have the same feelings that we do. So
Yes.
yeah, if there's a bunch of people that are worshiping you, it feels good, and they might just take advantage of that a little bit.
And that depends. Like a 12th dimensional or a ninth dimensional,
No,
that's not going to phase them. They're
right.
not going to. Yeah, that's
right.
But the fifth dimensional, I've seen human behavior in fifth dimensional. I've seen jealousy.
Really?
And yeah, they relate through their feelings and emotions very quickly.
Right.
So they're connected to source, and it's a different type of level. But yeah, when you're fifth dimensional, you are at a different place, but you still feel like the emotions we feel.
Right, exactly. And I think that might be that's what comes through to me when I get transmissions about Sumerian culture and what people call the Anunnaki and all the crazy that happened back then. It's like, it was like, so it kind of feels, when I get transmissions about them, it feels like 16-year-old boys would feel when they're not being watched, like how they when they were here on Earth, and they realized that like they could kind of get away with what was going on and nobody was checking them. They kind of just took it too far, like, yeah, people are starting to build sculptures to you, and they're like worshiping you as a god. When are you gonna say, okay, I'm not,
Right.
And I think that I don't know. It's all such glimpses and bits and pieces, but it does have that real energy of, I think I've read some things where they've written that if we did what we did on Earth where we were from, we would be judged. And we know that we are going to be judged in the afterlife. They know what they did here was, tampering with human DNA and everything that went down here, and like letting people get away with worshiping them and think, instead of just saying, hey, I'm like you, I'm just like a way far in the future and I've come to help. They kind of let it like go too far, like way too far. And
there's because there are some races that are not benevolent races.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Not everything. The higher dimensions, they usually are across the board just noble.
Absolutely.
Everything is like amazing, but there are some that, like you said, that have emotions very similar to us.
Yeah.
Very, very similar. Who can you explain to me like which beings are from the fifth dimension?
Well, there's many. There's many, because Pleiadians, for example, have fifth dimension. I know they have ninth dimension, because in my case, I was a ninth dimensional being who incarnated into the Pleiades as a fifth dimensional being, who then realized Earth needed help, then went to the 3D to help.
Right.
So I know that Pleiadians, for example, are ninth dimensional and fifth dimensional.
Okay.
So
they can run the gambit like we can. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. So fifth dimensional, I do not know them in that manner. Okay. Like I know Arcturians are seventh dimensional, right. Or the Eggaroth are higher than that. I think they're ninth dimensional.
Right. Well, I've
Uh,
seen the Eggaroth. That
mhm,
sounds so familiar. That sounds so
mhm.
familiar.
Yeah, it looks like an Arcturian, but with gray skin, like a darker tan skin,
Okay.
not blue. It's not blue.
Okay. The
Yeah.
Arcturians, I felt that they are kind of the closest example that we have to like how our human progress will look. I think with the ascension of humanity, I think that we're
Mm-hmm.
really following the Arcturian model
Yeah.
of where we're going, which is
Yeah.
wonderful. I
It
can't
is. It's so exciting, isn't it? It's so
I
exciting. So
can't wait. I
exciting.
just wish that we could do stuff to like hurry it up. I feel like that's why I like work so hard. I want to make this world more awesome. I'm just
Well, we can. That's why I do a nighttime meditation now every night at 9 p.m. Eastern. And that's what we do. We're projecting the future that we want.
oh wow, yes.
Um,
I need to be part of this.
yeah.
Yeah.
Every night I'm on my channel, and it's just to channel what it is that I want to happen, because I was noticing that there were a lot of truthers out there kind of confusing people, telling different things of what could happen in the future. And that's how people affect their reality. When
Right,
somebody tells them something, it drops in their hologram, and boom, they believe it. And then
right,
now it's their reality, right?
right.
So I was trying to kind of switch that over and
Yes.
go, no, guys, no, 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 no. Bring your attention here. Now let's pay attention. What is it you
Yes.
want? Create
Thank
it,
you.
right?
I have
So
you noticed that a lot of times when you give people an option of, you can choose your reality, so you really can pick what you want it to look like. I notice when I give people that option, they've been so conditioned to not dream,
yes,
they don't even know what to pick. I'm like, so if I tell you that you can manifest anything that you want, you're gonna pick like an apartment and a job. That's a dream. Like, you can you can pick anything, literally anything, but they've been so conditioned to feel unworthy and
mm-hmm.
like I don't deserve to have what I really truly want, Like if
Yeah,
you want to sit on the island and drink out of coconuts all day and have like a boat, you can do that. You can really
yes.
make that your reality, but you have to get past all of these blocks that have really been put in your head that you don't get that, you don't deserve that. I feel like if I leave it open to people, like they pick so low. They pick like good things, wonderful
Yeah.
things, but it's very low. So I was wondering if during your meditation, when you're like choosing how you want the world to look, do you give them like an image, or is it just like,
Yeah, I just say imagine a world where you have your own ship, like a galactic ship, and you can go wherever you want. And there's no airplanes, or there's portals, and you don't even need the ship. You can just use
yes,
the portal to go to Egypt or
oh,
whatever. So just a world with no money, where you don't have to work for a living,
right.
where everybody's doing what makes them happy.
Yes, that's
So
the world that I see. There's no
that's
currency there. There's like
yeah.
everything's pooled and it's fine and it works. I think so many people here, I this is what I want to ask you. So I understand that there are forces that want to keep humans asleep,
Hmm.
right? They don't want them to wake up to the truth, and they don't want them to wake up to their power. And I feel like if they know how do I put it? If they know what they know to the point that they don't want humans to know, then they know that this is truth and they know that it works. So why don't they apply it to themselves? If they know that they can just manifest their own reality, why are they still enslaving people to do it? Like why they don't have to have this karmic weight on their back. If they know it enough to know that they want to keep it away from humans' consciousness,
Well, so there's not necessarily karma involved there, because there has to be duality for us to grow.
right,
You cannot ascend if there aren't bad guys to ascend from.
right,
So, in essence, there should be no judgment in what the bad people are doing, because they're needed.
Okay.
They're needed for growth. They're there for a reason. And
I think I
so,
always forget that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So they are needed. That's why you have the yin and the yang. You got to
Okay.
have darkness with light. It's a couple. It comes together.
Right. So
So
they chose
yeah,
these positions,
yes.
and so yeah, so we really should honestly be applauding them. Like,
No, because they've done an amazing job. They have done
thank
an
you, because
amazing
I know
job.
this is a tough thing to do. I know it's probably hard on your higher self to see that you're causing suffering, but it was like the role that was necessary. That's like
Yeah, yeah.
that's a brain trip right there. That's like, if you want to think about stuff that would expand your consciousness. I was learning, I've been trying to embrace there's no bad guy. There are no monsters, like they're just people playing a role. And
Yeah.
so I really, if there's anything that kind of gives me that little feeling of fear, I know I recognize it now. And I'm like, no, that's not real,
It
Like,
isn't. It isn't.
right. Right.
Yeah.
I use fear as the indicator to tell me that that's not truth now. Like,
Right.
if I'm afraid of
Absolutely.
something, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to make myself go do it, because I'm like trying to break myself out of this entanglement as well, Even knowing all the stuff that I've been shown, I'm still, in this culture, in this world. I was still raised by this matrix. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of information that's going to come your way that it's going to be amazing for
yeah,
you.
I
Yeah.
just want to break your brain open. And see everything that because it's like I'm just figuring it out. I'm piecing it together as I go, and I'm just listening to what my guides are telling me to do. And so far it's been wonderful. So far it's been the results have been wonderful for the people I work with, but I know I still have like a long way to go. I have I have a lot to figure out.
Yeah, but the good thing is you're connected. You're very connected. So that means that you are going to be getting the information from the right place because that's where you really want to get the information from.
Right. Because there's information coming from all sorts of places.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. I'm pretty sure that's why they guided you to me, because they were probably like, she is going to mess this up if she keeps going the way that she's going. I'm definitely going to look into the proton mail for sure.
Yes. Yeah. 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 For sure. For
Yeah.
sure. So, but I want to because there's some more people that came in last minute, so I want to make sure I share again your Etsy um, site.
Okay.
So here is Zoe's Etsy site to what I mentioned before to get a Starseed Origin reading and activation. And again, guys, the reason why I brought Zoe, not only because as soon as I met, well, it was, I'm sure, something I felt, but other than the connection, obviously the Pleiadian connection,
Yes.
is that, you know, the amount of money that she's charging is just anybody can do this. Anybody can afford this. And that's why I felt compelled because I've been sharing with people that I want to heal as many people as I can because we all it's good for all, right? That
Yeah.
the faster we can heal people, the faster our reality will become better and it's just good for everybody. It helps everybody. So,
And it
you
makes a
know,
ripple. Everybody that you open up to this knowledge, this awareness, they spread it. They can't, and it just keeps growing and growing. So it's like the more people that we wake up to this truth, it's like the cooler our world can get.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, this is just to my way of helping them get closer to get closer to their what they're looking for, and maybe this will help them awaken even more, and and get to the place that maybe um, get to the place where they need to get to. So whatever that is. So
Thank you so much. That's so
so
cool.
Yeah.
And I would
So
love to ask if I could do the same for a lot of starseeds that are asking me for a next step, if I could show them your way.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. The best thing to do would be probably my YouTube channel, the Quantum Healing of the Soul.
Okay.
And then my website is quantumlifetransformations.com.
I will definitely let them know, because I have a lot that are like, okay, now I'm awake, so now what, and I don't really know what to say. So now I do. So
Yeah,
now,
I know. That's why I love this connection, because I feel like, to me, they could be like, what, well, what's next? How do I find out my starseed origin? And I was like, oh, I have Zoe,
okay, cool. Yes.
and then it's not a gazillion dollars, right? I'm
Right.
not referring them to someone that's going to,
Right. And I think a lot of people might even that's why I wrote it in the bio. I hope some people read it. I know a lot of people don't really read down there, but some people are thrown off by the price, because I've seen prices on Etsy for like really high for, healing, any kind of healing or helping. And if you see something that's for $1, you're like, oh, that doesn't work, and you'll try to
yes,
bypass it. So I'm like, that's why I wrote that little disclaimer, like, don't let the price fool you. I just want this to be available for you, because the more, the more that I learn about the law of one, the more it resonates with me.
yes,
Right? So
yes,
I'm helping you. I'm really helping myself. And so
yes,
but like, it really is, the more that I can make your life better, that it makes my world better. So yeah, don't let the prices fool you. Just, just let's get this party started.
right, exactly, absolutely, absolutely. So let's see, Diana is asking, which ones do you truly recommend? So other than the Starseed Origin reading, what else do you recommend?
Well, everything that I post, I'm guided to post. So I'll only put it up when it comes through. They all have had really incredible results with that. If you're drawn, this is what the best way to do it. So if you look at the listings, if you like open the shop and just look at the listings,
Here we go.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
just let your
Okay.
intuition pull you. Let your higher self tell you. That intuitive draw, let it tell you what you need, because all the pictures are guided, the thumbnails are guided, everything is
Oh,
guided.
okay.
Everything that I have up there has been like specifically told to me, this is what you make. Some of the images I've even made, they've like shown me how to make it, like splicing two images together. So I'm sure they've put like activated light codes within the images. If you're drawn to it, that's the one that's for you. Some people want to know if they can have them all, and it's totally fine, because light language will always complement any healing modality. If you're
Well, at
receiving,
this price, you can buy them all.
yeah, so the thing, you're not going to blow yourself up, don't worry. But the one thing is, if you do receive a lot of, because these are large shifts that happen, these are powerful energetic upgrades. If you do receive a lot at once, your body will get exhausted. You'll feel really tired, you'll feel really drained, you might feel like you're lagging behind, like out of body fuzzy head. I always recommend to at least wait like 24 hours between each one. Let the code settle and integrate into your field. Make sure you're hydrating, make sure you're over hydrating. And on days that you receive an activation, really let yourself have time to rest. Don't receive an activation then go work out, or or go do some strenuous activity, because you really gotta let it settle. It affects your energetic body first, which will always affect your physical body. So as your physical body is transforming and catching up really with these upgrades that's happening in your auric field, it's tiring. It can make you really tired. So that's if you're doing a bunch in a day. If you do one, I would just recommend drinking water, taking a nap, or just chilling out for that day. But yeah, you can, for which one I recommend the best, whatever one pulls you. If the image pulls you, if the title pulls you, that's the one for you.
Well, the one we're laughing at was, these codes are not for you. And people are buying this. And it's like, What would possess you not to buy this? Like,
So they thought this. Our guides have a sense of humor. They have they really love the reverse psychology thing. They say like the easiest way to make a human do something is to tell it not to. so that one is really for your water. So that was guided by the Sumerians
oh,
to let the frequencies touch your water, your drinking water. If you have a cup of water or a jug of water, if you play that activation next to your water and then drink it, you can take the shifts at like a really physical cellular level. And it's good for purifying water. A lot of people, if you check out the reviews, a lot of people will say like it's really sweet tasting. Like they'll after they play the codes to their water, that it'll change
oh,
the taste.
wow.
Yeah, they had one girl who lives in Ireland. She played it next to a whole river.
Oh, that's a great
Yeah, she
idea.
played it next to the stream that like fed her town, and that was amazing. She's so cool.
That's a great idea. I
Yeah, so
might do that.
right? And then it's like,
Yeah.
I know some people are like, can I give this water to my kids or my animals? And you really can't. It's like such a blessing to do.
So what's in it? So what have they put in there? Like,
It's
do you know?
I don't even know. It's a Syrian. Okay, so when I was channeling it, it was from the Syrians from Sirius B. And it was a way to ingest like light codes, to take light codes inside. It's a very physical upgrade. It's like I think the problem is a lot of these energetic frequencies that are washing over our planet aren't getting accepted well by human form. Like they just aren't, their vibrations aren't high enough to receive what's coming in, and it
Mm-hmm.
makes them really tired, or like we were talking about, everybody who feels these ascension symptoms and like get headachy, and I think it really helps like get your body ready to receive these higher vibrations.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
Mm-hmm.
it's a very physical thing. It's nice. I give it to my sons. I give it to myself. It's really
So, well, I was going to ask you because I buy these 5 gallon jugs of water.
nice. Hmm.
If I if I play it on that water, and then unbeknownst to my children who are not awakened, that affect them? Like, I'm just
Right.
wondering if it would affect them.
I think it will make them more open. It would expand their consciousness. It
Really?
wouldn't do anything that would hurt them. It
Oh
would
God.
never affect them
Okay.
in a way that would like that would hurt them. It would be whatever they're ready for. And I think well, I know actually it just has really nice results for um I think I see the struggles that like my family has that's not awake, when these portals open, like the Sirius portals open or the Lionsgate portals open, like these terrible physical things happen. I want to tell them they're like, these are just energetic upgrades that you're receiving. It's not like nothing to panic about. But I think these kind of things really help with receiving and being open
Yeah.
to, because now even my mom is like, I love my mom so much, but my earth mom, and she's not awake at all. And she, recently she's been asking me about wormholes and photons and stuff. I'm like, who's this lady? So I think, everybody's waking up, even the 100% humans, they're waking up and they're starting to ask questions, and it's very indicative that this fog is lifting off of them, instead of just accepting everything at face level, just like stuff that just makes no sense. It never has made sense to do. They're starting to question it. And I think it's so beautiful, and it's such a testament to what's going on and the work that's being done. And yeah, this kind of stuff will just help expedite that process.
Wonderful. The other one that called my attention was the Anunnaki telomere
Oh, the telomere regeneration
regeneration
code.
codes. So what
Yeah.
are we regenerating? What is it?
So the telomere caps on the end of our DNA strands have been shortened. If you have ever read like the Torah or the Old Testament, there you'll read like ages. The people reached that were like 899 years old or 700 years old. And my guides were showing me that human beings were their original blueprint. They were designed to live much longer than they do. The ages that they live now have been manipulated.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's by the diseases that they're subjected to are part of that, like a part of the shortening of the telomere caps.
Mm-hmm.
As the caps on your DNA degrade, and they will with time, you get, that's when the aging process starts. That's when you start, your bones hurt, that's when you get a little bit wrinkly and everything. You start to die, pretty much. It starts entropy. Um and it starts much sooner because the caps have been severely like sliced in half. So this one was guided by what we would call the Anunnaki, um, well, beings of their culture that kind of want to say sorry for what other people in their culture have done to humanity. And they when I I was trying to get guidance on how much to price it at, because I was like, this is a huge deal, and I think that they were like, make it like $1, make it available to everybody, so it can pass on through their DNA. Because once you receive this activation, and if you do have children, your children will have this upgrade, and it's
Oh
incremental.
wow.
Right, it's incremental. It's not like you're not going to live to 800.
Well, to be honest, who does? I every time I hear, oh yeah, no, the med beds will extend your life, and I'm like, I don't want that.
Right, it's exhausting here, especially if
Yes,
you know what we know. If you
right. It's like, okay, that's awesome, but
right, if you know what we know about life, this place is hard work, man. This place is like,
it is.
every day that I wake up from sleeping, I'm like, I'm back in it. I'm back in it. I'm back in this game. But now that, like, it feels like somebody has taken the lid off a box that I was in, and I didn't even know
Yeah,
I was in the box until you took the lid off of it. And it's so now it's getting a little bit more fun. Well, way more
yeah,
fun.
yeah. That's awesome, awesome, awesome. I mean, they all look amazing, really. They really do.
Good.
Um,
I really hope people benefit from them, because humans are just, they're just amazing, amazing divine creatures, and they don't deserve this, right? So I'll do anything I can to help. Google can shut me down as much as they want. I'll just keep making different accounts.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I wanted to ask you this mind control neutralizer that you have here.
Mhm.
What if I played that on my water for my family?
Oh, I never even thought about that,
What do you
because
think? Do you think that would work? So
absolutely.
they're not mind controlled?
Absolutely, because so one thing, the water does have, memory. Water can take in a frequency and hold it, and it will change it, and you can drink in that frequency. But with this one, the beings that guide this one, they provided the activation, so it will kind of energetically lift anything that's not organically yours out of your auric field. So after that, they wanted you to ground, to take something that to transmute these energies. They'll make it so they're just kind of like hovering around your field. So you need to do something that will transmute them, like putting your bare feet in the soil or taking a salt bath or something like that afterwards, or they'll just kind of reintegrate. So I wouldn't really recommend doing it for somebody who doesn't know that they're doing it, because then,
Oh,
yeah, if they do have an implant or something and it's been, the energy of the implant's been removed, it needs to go somewhere. They would need to do something.
oh,
Send it
well,
somewhere.
oh, okay, shoot. What if what if we ask them to download for you a mind control neutralizer
That doesn't, I could ask. And I just,
for
I
for
just,
our families and friends that are not awake?
I could ask them. I think they take free will so seriously, they would be hesitant. But I could
Oh,
definitely ask. But you know what?
that's true.
I've just figured out that I can ask for activation. I've just literally figured that out. Like I can just ask for certain stuff. And like it just blew my mind that I'm always just kind of really honored and happy when they come.
Yeah.
So yeah, so realizing that hey, I can ask for help. Sometimes I'm like, do you guys do childcare too? Do you what else can you do? Seriously, I think they do, because sometimes when I get because I have two sons and I'm like a single mom, and sometimes things get a little desperate at my house, and I'll like ask for help, and then my son will just take a 3-hour nap out of nowhere, like just like, and I'm like, oh, thanks. That was totally you guys that did that, I think.
So what about, I'm thinking like, I'm seeing this prices and I feel like that's not enough. Like I want to pay more. Like, do you have an option where we can send you more money?
I don't. I don't.
Oh, okay.
I do not have an option for that. I have been taking some people privately. I've been working with some people weekly, people who really resonate with my energy, and are starseeds that are working on developing their abilities, developing their multidimensional magic. We've been working weekly on Zoom. I try to keep it to every like quarter moon day so we can harness the energy of the moon and really use it for our practice. And they are just phenomenal. They have the results that we've been getting have been so incredible and amazing to see. Like people who are like, I have this healing feeling in my hands, or I feel like I'm clairvoyant or clairaudient, but I don't really, like these abilities are like muscles, and we don't have any venue with which we can practice and
Yeah.
use them and utilize them and make them stronger. If you feel like you're a channel, if you feel like you have mediumship abilities, if you feel like we have these capabilities that we are awakened to, and a lot of the DNA activations will start bringing these up.
Mm-hmm.
They'll start coming back online, like telepathic abilities and things, but they're like, I don't really know what to do with it or how to use it or where to practice it. So the people that I've been working with it's just kind of like a space, like a cosmic Hogwarts.
I love it.
Right, where we're just practicing opening a space where I can channel your guides. I can ask them for instructions and help in different meditative practices, and we just work on our stuff, and the results have been pretty profound. And usually people will only reach out to me about that if their guides are telling them to, right? If it really resonates them and pushes them to write me an email like, do you do any mentorship or apprenticeship or counseling or something? If they're guided that strongly to ask me that, it's usually on purpose. So I'll be like, yeah, of course, of course we can do that. So I've been doing that privately, just with a couple of people. But yeah, I would love to do that on a larger scale with people, because I know starseeds have so many gifts to give, so many gifts that humanity really needs, especially in this transition period where people are waking up from this long hypnosis of suffering.
Yes.
Where the healing, if you look at the business of healing, it's like it's taken over. The wellness industry is huge because so many people need help. So many people are desperate for healing, and starseeds are so incredible at healing.
Yes.
They just need to learn how to really get comfortable with their gifts. So
Yeah.
that's what we've been up to.
Awesome. I want to tell everybody that sees this video, please share as much as you can. I think that this is something that would really help a lot of people, especially like I said, the price, because a lot of people who are spiritual have this idea that they can't make money while they do this kind of work, which is wrong. But anyway, I'm here to help them, and Zoe's here to help them.
Yes.
And that's the idea, is to help as many light workers as we can. So please share. And again, this is my YouTube channel is Quantum Healing of the Soul. Elisa Herrera, and Zoe. I believe Zoe, what you have is this Etsy shop, right?
Right.
And on Etsy, what do they need to look for? Is it the activations by Zoe?
It's activations by Zoe. It's just one word.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's a very small amount of light language on Etsy. So if you look up light language, you're gonna see me, unless I'm getting banned or something, unless I'm getting shadow banned. But yeah, my shop's name is Activation by Zoe, no spaces, just one word. Yeah, you can email me at zoe@activationsbyzoe.com, or you can just write me a message through Etsy and I'll get back to you usually within 24 hours.
Yeah, we'll see after this video.
Well, I'll try my best because I'm
several hundred people are going to see it. So,
okay, well, I'm excited. I can't wait. I can't wait because this is what I want. This is what I want. This every starseed we wake up and activate starts.
Yes,
amazing
that's my goal. My goal is to not only get them to wake up, but to level them up, to give them more information to move up to the next level.
Absolutely.
You know, and the more people we get to do that, the better. So, but Zoe, I love you. You're amazing. Star sister.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And just super, super excited about this relationship and this teamwork that we're going to be doing. And I want to thank everybody who was here with us and this whole time. Super, super thankful. We love you guys. And go ahead and, like I said, share. Thank you.